It has been, I guess, a month now since I have posted another art vlog, an updated art vlog, studio vlog. So I thought I would start filming one today, and I don't know how many days this will include, but I just thought I would get you up to date. So I'm currently working on the batting, the middle layer for the July piece for my project with my son, so our 12 months 12 quilts project. And I'm also working on finishing up the June one, and I have a lot of little finicky things to do, but we had quite a week here, and so I have been feeling really not motivated, but also not super motivated, kind of in the middle, with a list running through my head of things that I have to do, but not with a lot of energy or drive to get those things done. So I thought I would just kind of putter and, do things slowly and not push too hard to make a whole bunch of progress that I just don't feel physically able to push out today. I also had a meeting 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, around a new art festival that's being developed in Burnaby, the city that I live, for artists to present their work in kind of art crawl / installations / online presentations / potentially having work hanging up in businesses, like all that type of stuff that goes with kind of a typical art festival mode. So I am working on an installation. I came up with an installation idea for that, and I have not done an installation before. This will be outdoors, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how to go about it and how to wrap my head around the process of it. It's a little bit intimidating because I know how much work it is, and the dates for this are the middle 2 weeks of January, and that's not that much time away. So if I get permission to do this piece, I am going to have to really hustle and do a lot of groundwork before I am able to put it together, in terms of measurements, in terms of permissions, in terms of how it will function as a piece. And so that's kind of putting me into kind of a thinking research mode right now instead of a more productive mode. I know that I had, given myself a mandate to finish this body of work by a certain amount of time, and as seems to happen every year, something jumped in the way, and that was a pandemic and a chance to work with my son collaboratively, but then also this opportunity I think is really great. I've been wanting to kind of break in, is maybe the wrong word, but I've been wanting to connect like on a more organizational level with this group of artists that are putting this on for a while now. When I participated in the Burnaby Art Crawl last year, that is in one of my vlogs from 2019, I think my September 2019 vlog, studio art vlog, they were the ones that were the organizing committee for that, and I participated, but I was like, it's kind of part of my job that I do at the museum is running events and creating programming, and so I have a lot of experience now building these types of things, and so I kind of wanted to get in on the ground level on the organizational aspect because I have a skill set there that I can use. And so the fact that they kind of opened this up right at the beginning for other artists to come in too and collaborate and help with the organizational part was a great opportunity. I'm very excited to be able to get in on this level, because it just means that I can contribute more, but also get more out of it. And these are the types of opportunities where you meet people that you need to meet, and you make connections in the community, and you know, it's just a really positive aspect of being an artist and having the skills that I have, and that, you know, I'm good at organizing things, I'm good at planning and all those types of things. So I think that's all I need to check in about right now. Like I said, I have kind of a crazy list of things, and I'm going to try to check them off. Probably not quickly, but I will check them off as time goes by, and I will show you a little bit of what's going on in the studio. I still have the Virginia piece right there on the wall, and I still haven't put the sides on it. So I feel like I need to get to that either today or tomorrow and get those sides sewn on so that I can bind them. And I still haven't decided on the title, on the final title for this piece, which is strange for me because I usually have the title in my mind and it comes pretty clear. But for this piece, there's just so many ways so many types of titles I could use. I'm still not sure. So I'm thinking of that too. I think maybe that's the reason why I haven't put the final touches on this piece. But anyway, it will happen. It will happen. And my garden, which I've been showing you in the last few vlogs, is coming along as well. It's in the quilting phase right now. It's downstairs, but you will probably see it in this vlog as well. So it's actually moving very quickly. I think the part that's going to take the longest is quilting the stems and leaves of the plants, because that's two different types of green. And I'm going to be adding most of the detail of the leaves through the quilting process, so that'll take a bit, but that's okay, because really, what am I rush? I don't need to rush. There's no rush. There's nowhere to go right now. There's nothing, really pressing. checking in on this art vlog. I am going to keep it going because I started it on the weekend and I thought I was going to have a really big studio day, and then I didn't actually have a really big studio day for various reasons. I think just because sometimes life tells you that you're just not going to be productive. And I think for me at this stage in the pandemic, at this stage in my art career, at this stage in my general life, if I don't feel in the mood to be in there and to be working, I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on myself. So I did a little bit, which you saw. Today is Wednesday, the something, the 21st of October. So what's happening right now is that there is a little bit of progress going for my potential installation. I'm making a lot of progress on my garden piece, Ruth's Garden. I'm getting a lot of the quilting done. So all I have left now is the sky and the foliage for the plants. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. And I'm also moving along in the monthly pieces with Elliot. So far I have July to stitch and I have September to paint, and we have to sew October. And then there's only 2 more. I'm not going to stop making these pieces with him. I think that they are a great way for us to spend time together and fill up, time, especially during this pandemic when we're not very busy. But I think after December, I won't be like consciously making one per month with him. It'll be more of a, oh, do you feel like making one? And then I'll kind of keep them as things to stitch in between larger pieces and as smaller pieces that are obviously more affordable, fun to show. They're abstract, colorful, have a kind of decorative quality, but also have a lot of meaning behind them for him and I in terms of our work together. So that's my plan with those. And I'm actually doing a lot of administrative stuff today, posting to social media and whatnot. And I am still really struggling with figuring out what social media means to my art career. It is a bit of a jungle to me, and I listen to a lot of podcasts about it, watch a lot of videos about it. I listen to advice from other content creators about it, and I still haven't figured out where my content creation fits in the grand scheme of my life right now. So I'm still working on it. I think one of my main challenges is fatigue. I get this sense of fatigue around posting constantly. And I feel like if I can't post something authentic, I don't want to post anything. But I know that that's not what the algorithm's like, and I know that that's not what, your people who are following you and wanting your content like. And so I'm grappling with that still at this stage. And social media is a very small, I don't have a large following on anywhere, considering how big the following could be. But I need to kind of work out how I'm going to fit it into my life. And I'm still, seeking advice, seeking counsel on that in my career thus far. So I think that's all I have to say for today. I was hoping to finish out this year feeling really strong with my art career, and I still do. I have a piece going up in a Instagram show run by Gastown Attic Art Gallery, which is great. So there's things happening and there's stuff moving, but it feels so disjointed right now because it's so hard to just get my head in the right place with things. So, you know, I think that's affecting my drive with my career as well. And I'm just trying to go with it and not be too hard on myself, essentially. But yeah, that is that. Hi everybody, welcome to the chaos that is my studio right now. I wanted to check in because I know that this studio art vlog has been all over the place, and I don't think that's really going to change with this check-in, but that's okay. So I forgot that I hadn't really shared with you the kind of changes that I made to the studio since the last time I checked in about the studio, and I don't even know if I've actually done a full studio tour on here. I don't think I have, but a few months ago, or yeah, I think it was at least 2 months ago now, maybe more, I decided to rearrange the studio yet again in 2020. So probably the second or third time, because my older son loves making Lego scenes, specifically Star Wars Lego scenes. And he was building on his floor in his room and sitting on the floor for hours at a time building these scenes, because he shares his room with his brother, so there's not a ton of extra space in there. And I thought, you know, he needs a space where he can keep his Lego, and the studio is the only space that's really available. So I set up a little corner where he keeps his work as well. So there's now 3 of us using this room on a regular basis. So Dave works in here Monday to Friday for work. I work in here evenings or weekends with my work, and then my son Kyan also uses this room evenings and weekends, and you know, on days where my husband's just working and it's not a big deal if we're in here with him, then we kind of come in too. But so that is what this room represents right now. It's a packed little space. This is a tiny room, everybody. This is not a big room. This behind me here is a queen size bed, a queen size Murphy bed. There's a window in this corner, and like literally I can touch one wall and the other wall. Like, it's a small room. It's not big, and it's doing a lot of work, and I'm very proud of it actually, because what giving him that space has meant is that there's not a lot of Lego on the floor of their bedroom, which is always a wonderful thing. If you're a parent who have kids that are obsessed with Lego, you've stepped on it, you've tripped on it, you've broken a very important thing that's been sitting on the floor made of Lego. You have hurt your feet, you've hurt your knees, you've picked it up so you can vacuum. You have vacuumed up pieces, you have lost important pieces. It's a constant presence. And I don't begrudge them that, especially right now when they can't really have friends over to play. And you know, the world is a challenge. It's very much a challenge. So it's Friday evening. I've already had a beer. So this is probably my first art vlog where I've had a beer, I think. Yeah. So I've been stitching, and I want to talk to you about Ruth's Garden and how that piece is coming. So I'm going to show you that. Okay, so this is my son's space over here, and then he can build on this table. This is the white table, which usually contains nothing during the weekdays because it's kept very minimalist for Dave, for his background during his work Zoom meetings. But on the weekends when I'm allowed to be in here, then it's my space. So what has happened so far is that I have gotten through a lot of the quilting on this piece. So you can see I have quilted the sky, I have quilted the fence posts, and I have quilted the flowers. The flowers are all finished. Really, I'm actually really happy with how they turned out. You can see some details. I'm sorry the lighting is not fantastic right now, but the wonderful thing about quilting and this type of light is that you get to see all these lovely little dimples that the quilting makes. So yeah, enjoy that. And I'll just try to get some good focus here. The delphiniums, I decided not to quilt at all because I really liked how they looked after just embroidery and paint and applique. I didn't think I needed any quilting, and I still don't think they need that. I did very minimal quilting on these darker peonies. I basically just went around the edges because I wanted to, there we go. I did very minimal quilting on these peonies because I didn't think they needed much. They already stand out a lot. So I just did very minimal, like making sure all the petals were down. Here you have the lighter pink peonies. These were a bit more work. So I painted on these, I drew on these. I did different color stitching and I did different embroidery. And I'm really quite happy with how the effect came through with those. The gladiolas, you can see, I did embroidery along the leaves, not all of them, because I didn't really think they all needed it. I kind of like the fact that I left some of them up so they give this more three-dimensional effect. And then I did the interior stamen. Is it stamen? I think that's it. So what I have left to do on this for quilting is the green leaves, which are going to be, oh, and also the bleeding hearts. The bleeding hearts I did as well. So the bleeding hearts have the embroidery, and then they have this little quilting detail here. Okay, so that's the flowers. Now, the greenery. I'm sure you can tell the greenery is quite elaborate in this piece. We've got the kind of long extended stems of the daylilies, these very kind of detailed leaves for delphiniums, the kind of flat shiny leaves of peonies. There's very kind of feathery fern effect to the bleeding heart leaves, and then the very kind of, again, straight shiny leaves of gladiolas. So these are all going to have two different colors of green per stem. So this is probably going to take me quite a while to get the green parts done, but the reason I brought it up here was that so that I could iron it and just, you know, get any wrinkles out of it on the back and on the front. You can see the back here before I go through with the last little bit of the embroidery. Quickly, because I'm playing music, I just wanted to show you also that this is what my embroidery floss looks like after I have done embroidery and quilting. Like, it's crazy. I get these big, different, like, mixed up bags of it. So I've got all my greens here that I'm going to sort because that's the next stage, and then this other stuff I'm just going to sort and put back into the container because it's been out for a really long time and I'm finished with it now, and it just gets all mixed up and it needs to be sorted. Hey everybody, so I wanted to wrap up the studio vlog for October here. This vlog has been all over the place, and I thank you for watching if you've gotten this far. I think some months the flow goes a little bit better than others, and even though I've been really productive this month and I've gotten quite a bit of artwork done, I still feel like my headspace has been a bit all over the place, and therefore this vlog and how I filmed it and how things came together has been all over the place. But I wanted to just tell you that I've decided to do a special little Instagram project for November, and it's going to be mostly in my stories, and it's going to be all about sketchbooks and how people use sketchbooks, how people use notebooks, how people use sketchbooks as art journals, how people use planners. And I'm just really been watching and noticing that a lot the last few months, especially for a new to me artist that I've been following. So I will be making a video. My next art-based video for the month of November will be all about sketchbooks, and it will go through all those resources that I just talked about that I will be showing in my stories. But if you're not on Instagram, you may not see the individual posts, and so I thought I would just make a video encompassing all of those resources and all the different things that I've been thinking about and I've been wondering about since I started becoming obsessed with sketchbooks and watching other people's use of sketchbooks, watching other artists and how they use them, watching writers and how they use their notebooks and their bullet journals and all those things. There's a lot of different people on BookTube and on YouTube in general using, sketchbooks for their main medium, using them to just sketch out ideas, and also using them to create pieces of art that they then use in other ways in their business. So I'm really interested and excited to share that with everybody. So if you are on Instagram, head over to at Jenny Johnston Artist and follow along with my stories and some of my feed for the month of November. I'm going to post every day. And if you are more of a YouTube follower of my work, then you can expect the next art-based video, which will be along in a few weeks, to be all about sketchbooks. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again soon with more videos.